Never. Nah, I'm playing. Saying I love you is not a bad thing for a man. Anyway, listen, I want to keep it a buck. A lot of people in the manosphere are like, oh, you can't let her know how you feel. You got to hide your emotions. And that is correct to a point. But at the end of the day, we're all human. Okay? We're all human. And if we take emotion out of life, it's not worth living. Okay? Emotion is what makes things worth it. The feelings make it more enjoyable, make it more memorable. So we need emotion. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with telling a girl that you love her. The problem is that y'all do it at the wrong time. Y'all always do it at the wrong time. But don't worry, that's why I'm here. To let you know when you can say I love you to a woman. And if you follow these instructions, trust me, you'll thank me. Okay, it's going to be a lot more satisfying when you do say it because the consequences will be much, much smaller. Even though I have just said that it's okay to say I love you, I do have to stress the point. You shouldn't be in love with a woman when you say I love you. What do I mean? When you are in love, when you are deeply, deeply just swamped with potent, positive emotion about that person, you cannot think clearly. You cannot make rational decisions and you cannot make good judgments. So it is never good to declare anything when you're in that state. So you should never say I love you when you're in that state, because that state, while potent and very, very pleasant in feeling, it's fleeting. Because once again, it is a feeling. So you shouldn't be in love when you say I love you. Matter of fact, you shouldn't be in love at all. Because what being in love is, it is focusing all of your attention, all of your desire, all of your affection on to a person that is not you. And I don't know if you know this, but no human can handle that level of emotion from another person. They were never meant to. Because what that emotion does is it idealizes the person and makes them perfect in your eyes. And unfortunately, humans are not perfect. They were never meant to be perfect. They are flawed by design. So if you put a person in a category of perfection, you are effectively making them something that does not exist. So being in love with someone, idealizing them, pedestalizing them is a recipe for disaster because they can never live up to your imaginary standard. So being in love is a no-go. Now, a simple solution to not being in love is to be in love with yourself. That's the simple solution. Okay? I'm never going to fall in love because I am in love with myself, and you can only be in love with one person. And I choose myself. I can love people, but I'll never be in love with anybody because I'm in love with myself. Simple as that. Okay? Now that we got that out of the way, what you need to understand is that when you say you love the person, it has to be a fact, not a feeling. Meaning that you have enough evidence over a large period of time to determine that this is how I feel today, this is how I felt last week, this is how I felt last month, this is how I felt last year. The feeling for her has not changed or diminished in any way, shape, or form. It's now become a fact. It's now become objective instead of subjective. I love this person. That has to be the foundation for you saying that you love them. That has to be the bedrock first. You have to know it as a fact before anything else. Okay? It can't just be you think, can't just be maybe. It has to be for certain, without a doubt, based on the way that we've interacted over this time. I know it for a fact. I do love this girl. Okay? Now that we have discussed what needs to occur as a foundation for you to be able to say to a woman, I love you. Now we have to discuss the 4 requirements of when you can say I love you, okay? These all will be required for you to say it to her. If these conditions have not been met, it is ill-advised to tell her this, okay? Okay, the first requirement in order for you to tell her I love you, she must tell you that she loves you first. Why? The woman must always like the man more than the man likes the woman. Because what does that do? If she likes you more, then you're up here to her. If you like her less, then she's down here to you. And that puts her automatically in the follower position and you in the leadership position. And you're not going to mistreat her just because you like her less. Whereas if it's flipped and she's up here because you like her more and she likes you less, she will almost always mistreat you because you like her more than she likes you. So this is the dynamic you always want. You're in the leader position, you're in the masculine, she's in the follower position, she's in the feminine. It's perfect. That's what you want. Okay? Now, if she says that she loves you first, that is the most difficult hurdle out of the way. Because now you don't have to wonder if she says it back or how she feels about you. She's already told you that she loves you. So now that takes a lot of stress off of you for you having to say it, right? Because she's already told that to you. And also, once again, because she likes you more, that reinforces and validates her hypergamy. Remember, hypergamy is a woman wanting the best man that she can get. If you're already up here to her, then you, by all intents and purposes, are her best option. So she is completely content and validated. That's why she should always admit feelings first. And it's usually not that hard if you're doing your job correctly because women are more emotional than men. The second requirement needed for you to say I love you to a woman, you have to be the most important man in her life. Yes, that includes her brothers, that includes her cousins, that includes her father. You are the most important man in her life, bar none. Okay? That means she never flakes on you, never makes excuses, always makes time for you, always wants to see you, happy to see you come, hates to see you leave. She's always trying to make something happen with you. She doesn't care what you guys are doing, as long as she's there with you, that's what's important. Okay? It better be like she's damn near crying every time you have to go. Making it hard, like, please, can you just stay one more day? And you're just like, baby, I gotta go, just relax. That is what you want. You want it to be where it doesn't matter what she has planned. She's now fitting her schedule around your schedule. You want it to be to where she's constantly thinking about you. You want it to be to where every time she comes to see you, she has something to tell you about something she did for you, or she got you a gift, or she cooked you something. You want it to be she's always thinking, what can I do to make this man happy? That right there, you can't buy that. You can't purchase that. You can't steal that. That is real deal, natural attachment. That is what you want. The third requirement necessary in order for you to be able to tell a woman that you love her, you have to be able to picture having a family with her. If she got pregnant tomorrow and she told you, and your first reaction was, what you gonna do about it? You don't love her. You don't. And I don't recommend you telling her that either. If you can picture her coming up to you and telling you that she's pregnant and all you feel is joy, that's what you want. That is the requirement needed. It has to be to a point where you can see, even if not having kids necessarily, eventually she's just gonna be your family. She's just gonna be a long-standing partner for the foreseeable future. If you could see marriage, if you could see kids, if you could see living with her, if all that are very, very comfortable possibilities that don't frighten you in the slightest, that proves that you love her. That proves it right there. If you can't see a family with this chick, If you can't see longer than 3 months into the future with this chick, if whenever she plans a date for next year, you get a little nervous, you don't love her, so don't fucking say it, because it won't be true. Okay? I'm telling you, you have to be sparing with your feelings, because with the man's feelings, they're much more valuable than a woman's. Because women have so many feelings all the time, they're not worth as much. But with a man, because we process emotion differently, when we feel something, it is a lot more potent, which is why we have to have more emotional control. So you can't just be telling a girl, I love you all willy-nilly. It has to mean something. And I don't believe in lying to bitches. I tell them the truth. And the last requirement, the fourth requirement for you to be able to tell a woman that you love her, she doesn't need you to say it back. Meaning, she has already told you, I love you. And you haven't said it back, but she has not asked you or required you to say it. Because a lot of girls are going to say I love you, not even because they truly feel it, but just to strong arm you into saying you love it back out of fear of upsetting her by saying otherwise. Don't let her bully you, my nigga. This is a shit test, okay? She says I love you, you say thank you. You say I know. You say I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Or my personal favorite, this is what I have said once or twice, I love me too. I said, listen, you love me, I love me. We have so much in common, don't we? Yeah, I know, it's great. Anyway, when you know for a fact that she no longer feels like she has to get you to say it, where it to her it doesn't matter whether you say it or not because she still loves you regardless, you have to understand that is the closest thing to unconditional love that you will ever receive from someone besides your mom. When she loves you independent of how you feel about her, that is like lightning in a bottle. Do you understand? Meaning that you could not care about her and she could still love you? Oh, bro. They ain't selling that at the thrift store, my nigga. That shit is powerful. Niggas would spend billions to buy that. You understand? So when you know for a fact that she loves you independent of how you feel, that takes the last weight off your shoulders, and now you say, okay, I don't need to tell her it. I don't need to say it to her. And that alone validates the fact that now I can say it to her without feeling any type of pressure or stress. Now, once again, just to go back, the requirements are she has to have said I love you already. You have to be the most important man in her life. You have to be able to picture having a family with her. And she does not expect you to say it to her. When all of these conditions are met, then you can tell her that you love her. And the repercussions of said phrase will be minimal at best. Okay? Now here's the thing. And this is a mistake that a lot of men make. They think that once the relationship has gotten to this point, once she said I love you, and then you have then in turn reciprocated that feeling, now you can relax. It is the opposite. Unfortunately, you have to work even harder now. Because whether women want to admit it or not, their presence softens you. Femininity is at its purest form, not straightforward, not abrasive. It's subtle, okay? It's patient, it's soft. But if you don't pay attention, it can consume you and turn you into a bitch. If you hang around a woman long enough and she showers you with love and affection, you will become soft. That is not an opinion, that is an inevitability. So you have to work even harder to retain the same level of masculinity. So just because you say you love her doesn't mean the game's over. Doesn't mean you won. No, this is just the beginning. You have to work even harder to maintain the fact that she loves you, because a woman's love is not permanent. It is conditional. Absolutely. Unless you are her child, it will always be conditional. You have to make sure that you are the same man that she fell in love with initially, and that you continue to improve so she falls deeper and deeper and deeper into the attachment with you until you become basically impossible for her to replace. That is the goal. I know that sounds tiring. That sounds daunting. Sounds like a lot of work. But the alternatives are, you could say I love you too quickly and you lose her. You can tell her you love her and then get complacent and then you lose her. Or you can just never say you love her and it goes nowhere. I mean, those options aren't really fun, in my opinion. Point of this is to have a good experience, is to enjoy the time with that person. But if you're just going to close yourself off, then what are you doing? There's no point. Just be a hermit. Just be a nomad. Don't date seriously. But also, if you want a relationship with a woman, don't let her consume you with her emotion. Because if you do that, you will lose her. You will grow to resent each other. You will grow to hate each other because you are no longer the man that she once knew. And it's not her fault. It will be yours. Being in a relationship is work. It's hard work. Okay? You have to not only maintain, but improve upon what you already were. But if you do everything right, it should last a long time. That's it for today, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been King's Wisdom. I have merch. Life is a video game. Max out all your stats. Link in the description for that. I also do one-on-one consultations. Hit me up in the link there as well. You can follow me on my Instagram. It's also in the description as well. Feel free to like any of my older videos. Look at them. I talk about all these types of things in depth. You're welcome.